Attention passionate Baltimore Ravens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Baltimore Ravens' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Baltimore Ravens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRIENDS, and Baltimore RAVENS fans. Let's get to the news now. Folks, buckle up because what we're about to discuss could be one of the most significant defensive moves of the season for the Ravens. Rumors are swirling around that Baltimore, currently sitting at a 3-5 record but with some momentum coming off their bye week, is eyeing a high-impact trade that could reshape their secondary and elevate their chances for a deep playoff run. And the name at the center of this speculation? None other than Denzel Ward, the lockdown cornerback from the Cleveland Browns. Yes, you heard that right. Denzel Ward, a player many consider one of the elite cover guys in the league, might be swapping the orange and brown for purple and black. Now this kind of move, if it materializes, could be a game-changer for the Ravens, especially considering their current secondary struggles and the need for a shutdown corner to match up against the league's top receivers. Let's take a step back and look at the broader picture. The Browns, sitting at 2-6, are clearly in rebuild mode. They have a significant cap situation, roughly $23 million in space, which suggests they're looking to create some flexibility for the future. And with that, rumors indicate they might be willing to part ways with Ward by the NFL trade deadline on November 4th. The Ravens, on the other hand, are sitting at around $14 million in cap space, and they've identified their secondary as a weak link, especially with Marlon Humphrey needing extra support. Humphrey, as many of you know, is a top-tier corner, but even the best need help. And the Ravens' pass defense has allowed roughly 230 passing yards per game, exposing vulnerabilities. A trade for Ward, a player with proven shutdown skills, could immediately bolster that back end and turn the Ravens' pass defense into a real strength. Now, let's talk about Ward himself. This guy, at just 28 years old, is a true ball hawk, someone who can shadow the opponent's best receiver and erase him from the game. In 2025, he's been playing solid, participating in 8 games, recording 20 solo tackles, no interceptions so far this season, but with 5 passes defensed, which shows his ability to disrupt routes. His PFF grade is an impressive 88.5, and his EPA per target sits at -0.32, indicating how effective he is in limiting big plays. Over his career, Ward has accumulated over 200 tackles, 15 interceptions, and 60 passes defensed. His success rate in man coverage is around 78%, which aligns with his reputation as a lockdown corner. Even more, his recent performances, like the 2 pass defenses in Week 4, demonstrate his ability to smother routes and prevent big plays. Imagine the impact he could have in Baltimore. Adding Ward could increase the secondary's projected interceptions by about 6, which would be a massive boost. It could also cut down the yards allowed by around 220 yards per season, transforming the Ravens' defensive identity. With Humphrey alongside Ward, the Ravens could create a true no-fly zone, making it extremely difficult for opposing quarterbacks to find open targets. And let's not forget, this move isn't just about individual talent, it's about what it symbolizes. It signals the Ravens' willingness to be aggressive, to go all in for a playoff push, and potentially even a Super Bowl run. Now, some of you might be thinking about the Browns' perspective. They're not exactly enthusiastic about trading Ward, especially considering their struggles on defense, which currently allows about 27 points per game. Their secondary has been shaky, giving up 58% completion rate and an EPA coverage drop of about 18%. Their youth in the secondary raises questions about consistency and experience. But with $23 million in cap space, they're in a position to rebuild and retool. Trading Ward, a player with over 15 career interceptions, and a PFF grade of 87. 4 could bring in a valuable draft pick that accelerates their rebuild. For the Ravens, acquiring Ward could be a strategic move that shifts the entire dynamic of their defense. His projected stats, like +7.5 in PFF secondary grade and a reduction of roughly 220 yards allowed, align perfectly with their goal of tightening up their pass defense. In their last few games, especially with Humphrey, the secondary has shown flashes of potential, but consistency has been elusive. Adding Ward, a player who can match up against top receivers, would give the Ravens a serious advantage, especially in critical moments of games. Plus, with Ward's ability to play press coverage at a 72% success rate and prevent big plays at an 86% rate, he could be the piece that elevates the entire unit. And it's not just about this season. The potential trade could have long-term implications for the Ravens. Historically, cornerback trades like the one for Ramsey in 2019, which boosted the Rams' secondary by adding a player with elite ball skills, have dramatically changed a team's defensive identity. Ward, with his ball-hawking ability, could do the same for Baltimore. If he comes aboard, it could increase their odds of contending in the AFC, maybe even boosting their Super Bowl LXI odds from plus 2,000 to plus 1,400, making them a much more serious threat. His addition could also serve as a catalyst for other defensive improvements, including McDonald's unit generating more turnovers, sacks, and overall defensive efficiency. This trade, if it happens, would be a bold statement from the Ravens. It's a move that signals their readiness to go all in, to push their chips to the center of the table, and to aim for that elusive Super Bowl title. They've been building a resilient, tough team, and adding a player like Ward could be the final piece needed to elevate their defense into an elite level, capable of shutting down the league's best offenses. Meanwhile, the Browns, with their cautious approach, continue to rebuild and develop their young talent, knowing that losing Ward would be a blow, but also a strategic move for the future. Looking ahead, the AFC North is shaping up to be one of the most competitive divisions in football this season. The Ravens, with their improved secondary, could turn the tide in their favor, especially against divisional rivals like the Steelers and Bengals, who rely heavily on explosive receiving threats. The Steelers, for example, with players like George Pickens and their deep threats, would face a much tougher challenge if the Ravens bolster their cornerback core with Ward. The Bengals, with Chase and Higgins, could also be affected by a strengthened Baltimore secondary. Now let's talk about the big picture here. The NFL trade deadline is always a time of intense speculation, but this particular move, if it happens, could be one of the most impactful of the season. The Ravens are clearly making a statement. They're not just content to be playoff contenders, they want to be Super Bowl champions. Their defense, traditionally solid, has shown flashes of brilliance but also moments of vulnerability. Adding a player like Ward, who can erase top receivers and create turnovers, could be the difference maker in close games, especially in the postseason. And for the fans, this is what makes the NFL so exciting. The possibility of a blockbuster trade like this keeps everyone on the edge of their seats. It's about talent, strategy, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. The Ravens are showing that they're willing to make bold moves to stay competitive and chase that ultimate goal. The AFC is stacked, no doubt, but with Ward in their secondary, the Ravens could tip the scales in their favor, making them a more formidable opponent in any playoff scenario. So, as we wait for the official confirmation, it's important to remember that this isn't just about one player. It's about the message it sends to the league, to division rivals, and most importantly, to the Ravens' own locker room. A move like this can energize the entire team, boost confidence, and send a clear signal that Baltimore is back in the game, hungry for glory. And let's be honest, Ravens fans, we've seen how a single trade or acquisition can change the course of a season. Just think about past moments that turned teams into champions. This could be one of those moments. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Baltimore Ravens news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick, and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. In conclusion, what we're witnessing here is potentially a seismic shift in the AFC North's power dynamics. The Ravens, with their eye on a Super Bowl run, are making strategic moves to bolster their roster, and acquiring Denzel Ward would be a statement move. It's a gamble, yes, but one that could pay off tremendously if it helps them tighten up that secondary and take their defense to an elite level. As for the Browns, they're taking their rebuild seriously, and trading Ward could be part of that plan to gather draft capital and rebuild their secondary around younger players. No matter how this unfolds, one thing is clear. The next few days leading up to the trade deadline will be critical for both teams and for the AFC landscape as a whole. The Ravens are clearly positioning themselves as serious contenders, and adding a player like Ward could be the piece that puts them over the top. Fans of Baltimore, you should be excited because this type of move doesn't come around every day, and it could be the start of something truly special. Keep your eyes peeled, Stay tuned for official updates, and let's see if this bold move becomes a reality. The NFL season is unpredictable, but one thing is for sure. When the Ravens make a move like this, it's because they believe they can reach that ultimate goal. And as always, we'll be here to bring you all the latest updates, analysis, and insights. So until next time, keep supporting your team, stay passionate, and let's see how this story unfolds. The road to Super Bowl LXI just got even more interesting.